Reading inch by inch, it said that it's a poetry of Issa, Issa, said that the children like the Japanese children like this. I'm going to read an interview from this author. A cup of tea, plate of fish, an interview with Nanao Sakaki. This conversation with John Brandi and Jeff Bryan took place in the middle Rio Grande watershed, Corrales, New Mexico, under the old mulberry and cottonwood trees amongst bird call and cricket chirp between bites of grilled tuna and miso soup and stout ale. Brandi says, "Who first introduced you to Issa? How old were you?" Sakaki says, "Probably I was 8 or 9 year old boy. Japanese kids like his haiku." Bryan says, "Was this an awakening for you, a sense of, here's someone I like?" Sakaki, "Yeah, oh wow, let's go." Brandi, did reading Issa, knowing about his life, wandering in Japan, influence you, make you want to write poetry, wander, and travel? Sakaki, no, too late for me. I'd already started. I bought this book about Issa in 1943. Can you imagine? Already the war had started. I was just 20 years old. I carried this book into the Japanese Navy, but not only Issa. I was reading Basho, and the same time I was reading Shakespeare, and some Kropotkin laughs. A good combination. Who's Prokotkin? Kropotkin. Was reading Issa and Basho something accepted in the Navy? Sakaki, sure, no trouble, but Kropotkin was real trouble. Did you know who he was? No, they didn't really know anything about Kropotkin. I must tell them that he's sort of like Nazi, so it's okay. Shakespeare, I explained to my upper officer, this is kabuki, English kabuki, so it's okay. What about the differences between Issa and Basho? How is Issa different? I feel Basho is more revolutionary personality. He was born upper-class samurai, very good education, maybe too good of education. If he had no education, maybe he could have been a much greater poet. And Issa's education? Issa's more peasant, good for peasant, like middle class, because he's landowner, only a very small patch. Still, he was landowner. So landowner means middle class. Basho, mostly intellectual background. Issa, nothing, no education. He learned only from his life. So that is much more closer to everybody. Didn't Issa have a period where he lived on the streets after being driven from his family land by his stepmother? Oh yeah, kind of hanging around anywhere. In Edo? Yeah, a couple times, getting his street smarts. Perhaps something times I feel Basho has no reality, Issa more reality. How did Issa compare with a more modern poet like
That's why Basho always looks at the moon.
Sandako open up a democratic road? I'm not interested in Toka. Why? Sentimental, just himself. No society, no university, has no compassion for other animals, other beings, just sentimental. But we need a sentimental poet too, laughs. We need many poets, all kinds of poets. Issa had compassion? Issa more compassion, yes. Does Issa's compassion come from being born in the Buddhist Pure Land sect? I don't think so. Where does it come from then? It's human nature. It's human nature, all religion, all kinds of organizations, some kind of a guru wants us to think it's something we make. It's not true. Somebody has it originated in our blood. Did Issa's background being a farmer's son affect his poetry? Little bit, but not everything. We think we are the slave of experience, but not so. We are more free. Yeah, we can be more separated from our own experience. Most people think experience, but that's not true. We can jump over experience. Isha can leave behind his early family strife and just be himself. Yes, most writers in Japan talk about this experience leading to this or that haiku. If you come from poor society and then you think this, what? I don't think so. No need of such stuff. We have bigger riches. In the world we live in, Isha's not a slave of his experience. His life is something else. What is that something else? Something else is more interesting stuff like, what's that? Isha saw worlds differently, a sense of identification with things with birds and bugs. Yeah, true. They're him. It's not so far. Bryan. They're right there. Sakaki, my neighbor. Brandi. In Japan, he is more a folk hero or a poet. Did many people like him because he was an old man? He just had a hard life, suffered, he wrote poetry? Sakaki. No, maybe the other way. His poems are still alive. Everybody's talking his haiku. Still his haiku are alive. See, life is second. So I read so many books about him, but after a point I say, no, get away from here. It's nonsense. Brandi. Because you want to read his poems. Yes, his poems are most important, not his life. Georgia O'Keeffe said the same thing. She did. She wrote, my circumstances don't matter. What I painted, that's important. Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. They're so...
Well, that's the right answer. Perfectly
correlated
hedged.
sometimes.
You're perfectly hedged, yes and no. What a good way to answer, yes and no. That's brilliant.
Can take it out completely.
What did you first start your walkings? Oh, maybe the same question. My answer is before I was born. Laughing again. You mean you didn't start walking because you read Isha? Laughs. No, same question as, when did you start writing poetry? I feel the same way. Maybe because before I was born. I started writing poetry. Ha. That's a true story. I wrote poetry many, many centuries ago. Then they called me Basho, Isha, Bison, and Shakespeare. Bryan, what is this spirit which carries on? I never think such a thought, so I'm here. So I write something, and this is the echo of the ancients. When we hiked up into the fossil range of the Sandias a few days ago, you opened your arms and said, every day's tomorrow. What does that mean? You have cake there?
Chocolate.
Do we have time for chocolate?
No, I didn't.
Read. Sadaki says, yes, every day's tomorrow.
Strange, never heard that.
Maybe tomorrow I do. They say tomorrow is today. There's only today and no tomorrow. But you say every day is tomorrow. I go this way or that way. Every day we think tomorrow, so tomorrow is every day. Every day we think tomorrow. So he's saying every day is tomorrow. Because we're every day thinking of tomorrow. Every day is a tomorrow, laughs. It's very simple. Jesus Christ's time or Shakespeare's time or Chaplin's time, always tomorrow. Always is tomorrow, never changing. Yeah, always there. Tomorrow, and next century, you can call it any name, next week, next year, next life. You mean next life, next century is the same as today? Sadaki. Yes, nothing changes, laughs. Congratulations, we walk the same way. What's important about Isha's poems for us today? Do the poems have a special appeal? Okay, probably in this time. We need mostly a kind of happy, lucky feeling. We are completely losing this. Everybody's so serious-faced, tight-faced. We really need humor, laughing, smiling, joking, just a feeling. That is something Isha had. Let's look at this poem, the poem where he announces his new name. Haru Tatsuya Yataro Aratami Ishabo. This is just personal stuff. It's not so interesting. What is your translation of the poem? I never translated this one. It has no meaning to me. Too personal to himself. So many of Isha's poems you don't respond to. No, 20,000 haiku he wrote. Maybe 500 I can read. maybe 200 I love, maybe 10 great stuff. It's a hard job selecting his haiku. Many times I just check his haiku. I still carry them around with me, most of them so dull, but he was crazy about writing haiku. One of your translations in this book is, just as he is, he goes to bed and gets up the snail. Just as he is, he goes to bed and gets up the snail. Did the snail show Issa how simple life can be in the middle of all our complications and things we need? Sudaki, I guess so. That's a good understanding, yeah, but maybe something a little more wider. He feels jealousy, oh yeah, laughs. I must think about money and human relations, but the snail doesn't care. Just goes to sleep, just walk around, eat, but not me. Why? Why, that is his point. Why is important? Why is snail that way? Why I'm this way? Strange. Why? Why are we here? Why is the sky so shiny? Why trees so green? It's all so beautiful. Why am I so uptight? Yeah, the surprisement, that is haiku. We laugh, but at the same time we get something. Yeah, something comes suddenly. Wisdom, he laughs. What about your translation of my very favorite of Issa's poems? It's not in inch by inch, but we've talked about it before. Tsuyu no wa, tsuya no ya yankara saranagara. Oh yeah, that's a hard one. So he had many children, all gone. So he felt this life is just two. So it's temporary, so short life. Even though I'm here, so that's sad. Why my daughter or my baby must die? What's the reason? One time you said that the translation was, the world of dew is just the world of dew, and yet, that is the point. So he says, I know the world of dew is just the world of dew, yet I feel pain, I am alive. Sadaki says, so simple, yet so wide. Brandi, what do you think happens when we die? Sadaki, I don't care. Brandi, where is your friend Allen Ginsberg? Allen somewhere in space, I don't care. He's okay, he never talks to me, no complaining, nothing, it's okay. We worry too much. We end up hanging around somewhere, laughs, or maybe changing to fish. Yeah. Brandi, like Issa, are you immortal because of what you've written, always there for other human beings? Sadaki, sure, we live in the same language, but maybe a little different way of expression. Each poet or writer or artist or musician is handing down the most beautiful part of our culture. It's a gift. Brandi, are you part of Issa's lineage? Sadaki, I think so. Not only Issa, but many other people, like Lao Tzu in China. Many beings come to me from me, many rivers going down, running down. Sure, he wiggles his finger like a stream going down the stream, running out from you. Sadaki, yeah, sure, kind of a river, exactly. End of interview. We were interviewing this character. And nice. His book, yeah. Actually, we still got to read his poems. We didn't even read the poems. We read the interview.
Mostly the poems.
When are you going to read the interview? All right. Next is the interview. The poems. We're reading from Inch by Inch with an interview with Nanao Sakaki. Inch by Inch 45. Haiku by Issa, Issa. Translated by Nanao Sakaki. Alameda Press, Albuquerque. There's Issa. We never, it's poor Zen to prepare, but we have no idea what I'm doing here. It's in bad taste to prepare things.